Hi, friends. I hope everyone is doing well. And if you're in the part of the globe that has summer, I hope you're having a very nice summer and enjoying your time, your vacation time. My name is Omar Harami, and I am your host for today. I see some people are trying to come into the meeting, but they're having some problems. I'm not sure what the problem is. We'll try to fix it. But before we start, I want to thank you all for joining us for the latest Kumi Now online gathering this week. We are focusing on Israel as a nuclear and military power and what that means for Palestine and the world. We are joined today by representatives of the great organization called Earth Caravan. This is the week that the world, that many countries of the world have signed agreements saying no to nuclear weapons. Israel and another handful of countries have refused to sign these agreements. Although Israel does not admit that there are nuclear weapons, but it has become as accepted in many parts of the world with recognizing Israel as a nuclear power. Something that is very problematic for many people around the world who do not want or wish to live close to countries or close to nuclear plants. But before we start with this topic and to learn about the amazing work of the Earth Caravan and its origins, I'd like to remind you that this session is being broadcasted live on Facebook. If you do not wish to appear, please turn off your video feed. We will also love it if you could quickly share one of the links that are being shared in the chat with friends or people who might be interested in joining. So we'd like now for this to introduce yourself briefly before we get into the topic. Yes.
Hello, my name is Alice Kerschbaumer. I'm from Austria. I'm one of the co-founders of the new project of the Earth Caravan. Earth Caravan is an international NGO, which is promoting life against justice and does trauma healing over the world. And the newest project we are following is the Flame of Hope, which is actually not a project, but it's a flame which is gathering all flames from all over the world, all spiritual and all historical flames. And it's the manifestation of the wish of all human beings, the wish for hope and the wish for a just and bright future where we can live in freedom and also with our giving heart. So it's from everyone to everyone, and I'm happy to tell you that one of the flames which is inside of the Flame of Hope is also the fire of the nuclear atomic bomb from Hiroshima, and it's a symbol that we can change the past into a bright future. So that's why I'm proud and I'm so happy that Omar, thank you for inviting Earth Caravan and the Flame of Hope today for speaking. Thank you.
It's our pleasure, and thank you for being partners and for doing the work that you're doing. I had the pleasure to be to work at a small, although not for a long period of time, but to collaborate and to support the amazing work that you're doing. So last year we hosted the Earth Caravan, and you're doing amazing work. Could you please let us know about the history of how did it come the project started or the work that you are doing?
To make people aware of the situation in Palestine, because it's really also all about justice, we invited Jana Tamimi from Nabi Saleh to come with us to Rome to see Pope Francis. And she handed the flame of Hiroshima, the burning fire of Hiroshima, which is still kept in the village of Hoshino in Japan. And she handed this flame over to Pope Francis, together with the Peace Nobel Prize receiver, Setsuko Thurlow. She is one of the survivors of the atomic bomb of Hiroshima. And they together gave Pope Francis this flame and asked him, please, Pope Francis, blow out the flame of the atomic bomb, so there will never be again another Nagasaki, there will never be again another Hiroshima. But what is the intention of this is to really to cut off the negative past and to be able to create a bright future for all of us. Because we need to be aware that our movements, our motivation is often very much stuck in our past experience. But we need to develop a mind, we need to develop a culture in our world which is only focusing on creating a good future. And one of the amazing realities is that we only need to look to our children, because they have this knowledge. They walk into every day, they see the world with a new point of view, and they come up with absolutely amazing and brave and very daring ideas, projects, and they really take over responsibility for their lives and for the world. And this was one thing we trying to show. But before I come to this, I allow myself to, because it's also about nuclear Israel, about all the arms. So I want to give you a very, very short overview with hard facts, just and hope it's interesting enough. 1 minute. We have worldwide 13,400 active nuclear missiles. These are only the missiles which are active for launching. 1,700 about 100,700 are situated in the United States. About 1,600 are in Russia, and the other are to the official and unofficial powers of nuclear weapons, which is Great Britain, Italy, France, and unofficially, of course, also Israel, although since a few years, everyone knows again, and they are finally also admitting that they have nuclear missiles. There are 90 in Israel, and they're positioned in the desert, in the Negev desert in Dimona, in the Nuclear Research Center. But there are 8 other places in Israel where hidden nuclear weapons are below the earth. And it's Ailabun, it's Kfar Zekaria, I hope I pronounce it right. Otherwise, Magali, or Omar, you need to correct me. It's Nachal Sorek, it's Yodefat, it's Tirosh and Raphael. Interesting is that, like for many things, you can you only have to follow the money, and because behind these nuclear weapons and behind all worldwide weapon sales, of course, there is so much money involved. And I was also looking up these numbers, and we are talking of the international worldwide weapon sales of 2020. We are talking about 470 billion euros, which is this number in can you see it? Oh, I'm sorry, I should have turned the camera. Well, it's 352 billion Jordanian dinar, or as I said, 470,000 billions of euro, which is only the weapon sales. And the military budget all around the world is 2.1 trillion euros. So these numbers they show how much fortune and how much richness is involved in this, and why nobody is willing to let go of nuclear weapons. So the more we need to do to create another and a new reality. It's my opinion. And they are talking about and deciding about.
Alice, I think that there is a problem.
Yes.
Yes, I think there's a problem with your internet connection.
Can you see me again?
We see you, but there is a lag in with the voice and with the internet. I don't know if it's is there something that you can do to improve, or is that's how the internet connection is?
I hope it's working now.
It is now, but maybe we can turn off the camera just to make sure that the quality of the voice is until we.
Okay. Better.
Thank you. And maybe when the service becomes better, we can switch back the camera. So please go on. Alice.
Right. So the basic problem of all the of what is behind, or what what annoys me again and again when you talk about peace, when you talk about weapon sales, when you talk about peaceful policy, then most of the time our talking partner, they say, well, you need military equipment, you need the military for establishing peace, because if the countries cannot defend themselves, no peace is possible. And this dates back to one of the most interesting mistakes or misunderstandings in history. Because when you look back to all these arguments, they argue with one of the thoughts of the ancient Greeks, which is a saying, which is a sentence of Heraclit, which lived in the ancient Greek time, and he says, "War is the father of everything. Only through war you can achieve any kind of development." But what he was actually talking about with this is, he was not talking about that we need to, that conflict is the nature of human beings, but he was talking about duality. Heraclit meant that without the duality, without the contradiction, you can't see the summer without the winter. And in nature, everything is increasing and again decreasing. And you can't feel hot without the cold. And you can't feel, you realize that you're satisfied only when you have had hunger, for example. So all over the world there is, and in the human nature and in nature itself, in the universe, everything is in duality. But all the duality is again and again only the two sides of one coin. And it means what Heraclit really meant with the war is the father of everything, is that we need to go beyond this duality, that we need to search, that we need to research the common spirit, which is then creating, if you go over duality, we reach the state of non-duality. And this is exactly the state where we can then go over the conflicts and create a new understanding of spirituality and of peace and of a real giving heart all over the world. So all these arguments that we actually need weapons, that we need conflicts, and that it's in the nature of the human beings to be in conflict, it's a misunderstanding and it's a misinterpretation. And so I would like to come back to what we are trying to do with the Flame of Hope, which really means to go beyond this duality and to bring people in this state of realizing that the state of unification and non-separation is our real human nature, as children do. So please let me show and share you the video where we have been together with Jana Jihad. It's one of the youngest journalists in Palestine, where we have been to Pope Francis. And I will share my screen now, if you allow me, please. And I hope it's going to work.
If it doesn't work well, we could do it also from Ryan's screen, I think.
Let's see.
Depends on the internet.
Yeah, I have the videos ready to go if you want.
Yes, but
Yeah.
It's maybe better to use the internet speed though.
Thank you.
Just the first video now, right?
Yes, please, the first YouTube video.
Okay.
It will show that we went to Rome and saw Pope Francis and handed over the Flame of Hiroshima. And after this meeting, the Flame of Hope was born in Nagasaki, in the church in Nagasaki, and also lit the candles at the Pope's Mass in Tokyo and Nagasaki. And we are traveling all around the world. This is the Kumi Hiroshima.
So, Holy Father, please, will you blow out this flame so there will never again be another Nagasaki, so there will never again be another Hiroshima.
Japan. Guardando il mondo dall'alto dei cieli,
puoi sentire il suo dolore nel profondo del cuore.
We went into this temple,
Senti il pianto dei bambini.
Christian beliefs, to schools, Peace Week in Netherlands. And what we wish that people experience, young people can experience, is that the spirit of unification, that our giving heart is our natural state. It does not make us weak, it makes us strong. We also were invited at the embassy of the United Emirates, Arabic Emirates in Japan. This was before the World Session in Dubai. So, thank you very much, Ryan. And what came after, or what is now doing the Flame of Hope, is we are collecting wishes and prayers worldwide. And This year, for example, we received the flame of Martin Luther King Center, which was the first time that they shared the eternal flame of Martin Luther King. And with this symbolic sharing, it's also shared the spirit. Always the spirit is shared of what we are all together working for, what Sabil is working for, what you who come and join into the meeting, what Varda with Palestine, Freedom for Palestine is also so hard working for, is that we can create a bright future as long as we really believe it and as long as we are taking responsibility for it. So we met this year also with the niece of Robert F. Kennedy, of John F. Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy, and we also met with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We also met with the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, and they also share their wishes and their prayers to the flame of hope as a symbol that we are all connected, that we are unified, and that we all can work for a bright future. And one other aspect, and this is the second film I would like, the second video I would like to share with you today, because it also shows how the flame of the atomic bomb is connected and supporting actually Palestine. It is showing young women in Israel and Palestine who dedicate their life, who are taking responsibility for their world and creating a bright future in resisting to the system. It's about, again, about Jana, who went to see the Pope. She's talking about the life of children in occupied Palestine. And it's about Achat Tamimi, who was in prison. And it's about Mrs. Perez, Shachar Perez, a young woman who's refusing the military, the Israeli military. And shortly before we see, you can, what I want to transmit with this talk today is that we can always and always find contradiction. We can always and always find duality. Like when I show this video now, people from Palestine, of course they could argue, they can argue, but imprisonment for Israeli teenagers who refuse the army is so much less burdening. It's not so difficult like for a Palestine youth who is imprisoned. And so many young Palestinian children are imprisoned just to break their parents. And they are imprisoned for many, many years and lose their childhood. But this is again separating. We need to focus on how to share all the tiny little details which unify us. And this is about the hearts of young people. This is about the hearts of young people who really dedicate their life for a bright future. So let's please, Ryan, see the video.
18以上で3年間でしたっけ
ねえ、こんな子たちがさ、マシンガン抱えてさ。
This is from our travels to Palestine and Israel with Earth Caravan, where we bring people from all over the world to see the reality of occupation. And this is one of the prisons in Israel. If they refuse to serve in the army, they will need to go to prison. It's Shachar who is released from prison for the second time. They have to go again and again. And for us, they are guardian angels, because they create a new reality.
בדיכוי של מיליוני בני אדם פלסטינים שחיים בגדה המערבית ובעזה.
Of course, I wouldn't like, I don't like the situation that my daughter is in jail, but I fully support her decision.
אז הדבר שגרם לי לסרב היה מפגש עם פלסטינים ופלסטיניות עוד מלפני הייתי בגדה המערבית. לראות בעיניים את הכפרים ואת הערים הפלסטיניים, זאת הדרך היחידה לראות את המציאות לא רק מאיך שמנסים לחנך אותי לראות אותה.
بسرعة 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 يالد 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 عمي مسكين ده مسكين
يالد ولك يالد شاهدوا يا عهدي مسكي يا جندي بعدين يلا
לראות ולשמוע את החיילים ברחובות ואת הממשל הצבאי שהפלסטינים חיים תחתיו ואת התנאים המאוד מאוד ירודים שהם חיים בו רק מחזק את המחשבות על לא לקחת חלק בדיכוי הזה.
גם עם השינוי הקטן, אין לי ספק שבסירוב שלי יש איזשהו שינוי.
You understand, this army get order from citizens, not from his officers. The citizens, the settlers, they gave him order. Be shame of yourself, also you and also you, violent soldier. אתה תעמוד ככה כמו קלגס.
He says you have a warranty. This is the way the Israeli occupation act. They take soldiers, nice Jewish boy, nice Jewish boy.
Settlement?
Where? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Wow!
Wow, easy.
Wow, it's you! Wow!
My name is Jenna Jihad. I'm 10 years old. I live in Palestine in a village called Nabi Saleh. I live under occupation and I'm the smallest journalist in the world. Yeah, I started doing that things to send my message to the whole world, to tell the whole world that what is the truth and to show the people how we live under occupation. Living under occupation is a very difficult and hard life. You could lose a lot of people you like and you love. You could lose yourself. You could be scared. You could be afraid. You could anything will happen to you. He was our friend, and he was playing with us. So they just throw it at his face as it broke his skull. So at the moment he was died. When my friend Mustafa was died, we were in the mountain. We was hearing somebody saying somebody is injured, somebody is injured. So we ran from the mountain down to the main street, and we was seeing Mustafa has a lot of blood in his face, and it was kind of very sad, and it was kind of like we were scared about him, like what would happen. My mother started shouting at us, the jeep is coming, the jeep is coming, come, like the soldiers' jeep is coming. So we were playing down there, and I think they saw us. There's a bullet, a new canister that they start shooting. Then start like throwing gas canisters near the window and broke the windows on Friday and everything like that. It was, yeah. And like when you smell gas, you can't breathe and your tears will come down, and it was a very scary time. And the gas came from under the door, and the boys of the village saw us, and they make human leader to like catch us, the children.
ואני חושבת שבגלל זה גם בסוף רוב האנשים בוחרים להתגייס ולא לוקחים חלק במאבק נגד הכיבוש, כי בגלל שבעצם אנחנו לא יודעים מה קורה באמת, לא אומרים לנו בבית ספר, לא מלמדים אותנו על הנרטיב הפלסטיני, לא אומרים לנו מה קורה בפועל.
When Palestinian teenager Ahed Tamimi was filmed punching and kicking a heavily armed Israeli soldier last year, it touched a nerve worldwide and ignited some debates.
Ahed is said to have been angry at the time of the confrontation, as her cousin had been shot in the face by a rubber bullet. This Wednesday, an Israeli military court ruled Ahed would remain in detention.
Is that considered a terrorist act then?
First of all, it's an act of terror because you cannot take it out of context. Do you know if she have explosive belt under her shirt or something?
The moment somebody comes with the intention of carrying out an attack, it doesn't matter how old they are, we will deal with them for the security of the state.
Ahed is being held in Ofer military prison. She celebrated her 17th birthday there last January.
So how is Ahed? Is he all right? Yes?
He's all right, yes.
Got hurt?
And she has a problem in the stomach.
Because of the stress, huh?
Stress.
So he was, when the soldier came, he was here? When...
Yeah, in the gate, here.
لأنه أساساً الغرف صغار فيش فيهم تهوية، وكمان منعوا التعليم، قلصوا وجبات الأكل، في كتير شغلات عملوها اللي يحاولوا إنه يضغطوا على الأسرى والأسرات فيها. تقريباً الغرفة اللي كنا فيها بكون اللي زي هيك بكون لستة، طبعاً هم يحطوا فيها 10.
Yes, you know, because she, when they arrest her, she was in the high school,
yes.
The class 4 graduate, and she was able to continue in the prison by helping of other prisoners, women. She finished it, she was studying in the prison.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Indeed, it's a strange situation where she entered prison exactly at the beginning of the school year. So people told me, we send our daughters and sons to school and university, and you send your daughter to prison.
אז הזמן בכלא הוא לא פשוט. בסופו של דבר אני כלואה בתא, אבל בפועל ביום יום אני מרגישה בסדר גמור ומרגישה אפילו טוב, כי אני יודעת למה אני בכלא ואני עומדת ב100% מאחורי מה שעשיתי, ובאמת בגלל שהחברה הישראלית כל כך מושתתת על העיקרון שכולם מתגייסים וכולם הולכים לצבא, ברגע שאני לא מתגייסת באמת יש לזה השפעות גם חברתיות וגם מבחינת אני מניחה בהמשך עבודה או משהו אחר שאני ארצה לעשות בחיים. וחושבת שהסירוב הוא הדרך הכי נכונה בישראל ובגדה המערבית ובעזה, ואני מוכנה לשלם את המחיר.
גם עם השינוי הקטן, אין לי ספק שבסירוב שלי יש איזשהו שינוי.
לדבר עם פלסטינים בפעם הראשונה, לא רק כשהם כבר חיילים והם כבר במחסום, הייתי רוצה להגיד ולקוות שלכל הילדים יהיו חיים טובים ויהיו חיים עם זכויות ועם חופש ועם בחירה. וגם עכשיו אני השתחררתי, אבל בעצם בעוד כמה ימים אני אצטרך להתייצב עוד פעם ועוד פעם להישפט ולהיכנס לכלא. I wish freedom and justice to everyone in the world.
Thank you very much, Ryan. So this is our latest project. It's the Hope Warrior video series, where we put focus on the worst situations in the world. Like, I think the occupation of Palestine is really one of the worst situations. And we made also interviews with people from occupied Uyghur region, which is which is one part of China. They're also very much oppressed and persecuted. This will be the next Hope video series. But what I really wish to remind you with this video is they are saying, the young women are saying, we wish that the world changes for the children, that they can be happy and then they can have freedom. And this is our responsibility. It's our job to stay at the side of our children and never to lose our dreams, never to lose this vision, and feel that this energy is possible, and that this energy, which is actually the energy of the Holy Spirit, because it's written everywhere. It's written in the Bible, it's written in the Jewish Talmud, it's written in the Quran Sutra, it's written in the Buddhist Sutra, everywhere it's written. We have received the spirit of the universe. We have to receive the spirit of God. So let's just share it and let's follow it, and then the world will change for sure. This is what we can see in the eyes of the children and in the eyes of those young women. The world has a bright future. So thank you. And the Flame of Hope is unifying this hope and these wishes. And I would like to open now time for discussion. I apologize that I've been talking so long. I thought it would only be 20 minutes, but it's only 40 minutes already. So let's please, other people can say something, and Kumi has also an action, a weekly action. So I would ask you to share these videos this week to your friends, because and all over the world, because it really shows the reality of life of children in Palestine and Israel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very, very powerful videos, especially the second one. We know Nabi Saleh very well. I want to ask you, I mean, even in Europe now, it seems, I mean, it's there's a long war already happening, too long war, unnecessary war with Ukraine and Russia. There's just more problems. We're trying to solve with long existing problems, and there's new problems that continue to arise. How does the war in your backyard feel, Alice, for you personally?
Personally, we in Europe, in Austria, we have a long history of welcoming refugees, because we always have been on the border with the communist countries, the Iron Curtain, which has been cutting through Europe for many, many years. It was running about like 20 kilometers from my hometown. So all over the last 50 years, many refugees came from Hungary or now from Ukraine or also from the war in Yugoslavia in the 1990s. So we are very pragmatically, and a lot of Europe, most people, but you know, everyone over the world, if somebody needs help, you just do it, you just give it. It's never about the people who live with each other. It's never about the neighbors who create these conflicts. It's always the system behind, the political systems. It's always strange attitudes. And we give those people who can damage so much, we give them the power. So it's really our responsibility not to obey these politicians, not to follow the system, like Shahadas. She says, no, I'm not going into the army. And or Ahed, who says, I'm slapping the soldiers, I'm not following the rules. So I wish that more people are not following the rules. But we personally, of course, too many people are following the rules.
Yes, I agree with you. I really thank you for talking about war. But when we talk about, when people talk about security, I mean, even now within the debate that is happening in the US specifically, but in many parts of the world, when people speak about security or people are afraid, the rational mind is build alliances, buy weapons, it has become a stronger military power. And for to speak about peace and justice, and it's dialogue and offering an alternative to the status quo are seen as naive peace hippies. How can we make the work of activism for a world without violence, a world without injustice, to be the rational conversation?
That's one of the, I go back, okay. Yeah, that is always, thank you for this question, Omar, because this has been annoying me or it still makes me angry or crazy, because we are really creating, or people are creating a fake environment which tells us weapons make our world more safe. But this is built up on the basics, on our basic belief of separation, that the strongest that only the strongest can survive. But if we look on the reality of nature, if we look on the reality of humanity, we only survive when we rely on each other. A baby, can only survive if it's taken care of. So mothers and fathers have a natural instinct to care for the child, to care for each other. We have a natural instinct to care for each other's families, for the neighbors. And all over nature, animals survive not because they are strong, but because they live in groups and because they take care of each other. So this is a wrong narrative which has been told to us for many, many centuries. And we need to change this narrative of separation and create a new story for humankind. This is the attention this is why I'm really, really working for the Flame of Hope. And I was still, of course, I'm again and again desperate, because people say 99% of the people in the world don't believe in peace. Not really. Even peace activists often don't believe in peace, because the history tells us it's not possible. But again, if we if we read the scriptures, if we read the Bible, if we look into the eyes of newborn children, if we watch children playing with each other at a small age, we can see that the real reality is unification, and that our true nature is harmony and a peaceful world. So we just need to start living it.
Thank you. Dr. Warda, you have a question?
It's not a question, but it's a reaction for Alice. I want to tell you, Alice, that please don't be frustrated. History tells us that we can make peace. Nelson Mandela make peace, Gandhi make peace, and we can also make peace. And there is a lot of also examples in the world that the oppression must be stopped, and the will of the people will be achieved if this will is motivated by hope, by the future, by thinking about children and the future of the children. Thank you.
Thank you.
My major issue personally as Omar, and that's my reflection, is that it's when we speak about peace, everybody loves peace. Everybody wants to talk about peace. Nobody is against peace. But when we come and say, you know, what makes for peace is justice. You know, if we live in a just place where everybody is safe, where everybody's rights are respected, this is where you have problems. And then sometimes people feel that there are just causes that are worth fighting for. And it might differ from how or not. But when you talk about peace, do you speak about lack of conflict, or do you speak about justice, Alice?
I think peace is not the absolute absence of conflict. It's about to really see both sides and find the best unifying aim. So if you aim always for this unification, then even a conflict can go forward and be helpful in a sense of discussion.
I don't know if you encountered this when it comes to Palestine. It seems that we Palestinians are allergic to the word peace. Because whenever we hear the word peace, it means accepting the status quo. It means no justice. It means so that's why many Palestinians, when peace comes out, it means you have to let go of certain of our rightful. That's problematic. But also truth, peace without forgiveness and compromise also does not work. But I think it has been for decades now. When we hear the word peace, we get worried. It means that extra pressure on us to compromise on our rights, and we don't like it very much. Opening it up for people who would like to speak. If you don't want to write your questions, you'd like to speak, to open the mic, please do. I think especially the second video was very powerful and got us all into
we really made it to be shared in all the countries who are not aware of a situation of occupied Palestine, because usually, especially in Europe, with our history, we are completely brainwashed, and Israel Zionists' opinions are very, very strong. So the moment you tell people about occupied Palestine, they call you an anti-Semitic, which has nothing to do at all with this, and you need really to be really need to explain very well about the reality. So this video is very helpful to show how the army does, how the reality of Israel is treating Palestinian, and that even Israeli young people are brainwashed.
Yes, and I mean, the Israeli occupation is one form of discrimination, a serious form of discrimination. But unfortunately, there's so many layers of discrimination and injustice. Some of it is cultural, maybe how women are treated in our society, or maybe how young people are, or some minorities, how they are being treated, or sometimes with human rights violations when it's happening, like in many Arab countries around the world and many parts of the world. Unfortunately, there's so many injustice and so many problems that we feel all overwhelmed, that there's so many problems and we're trying to make it a better place. And sometimes personally, we feel a little bit down because we're not getting as many success stories as we wish. Do you feel the same thing, or you're always hopeful, Alice? You feel very energetic with your voice.
This is now, I apologize because this is going to be a spiritual religious answer. But I really think that we must not work for only this life. I do think we have an eternal life, and that all the seeds we plant in this present physical life are important. Each tiny, tiny, tiny seed is so important. And it's also written in the Bible, which says one tiny seed of mustard is making a huge tree. And so even if we can't accomplish peace in this life or justice in this life, so many people have worked for it many, many centuries ago, and we are building up on their experience so that our children and grandchildren will be able to build up on our experience. So no, I'm never frustrated. Sometimes I'm frustrated about all the people who try to bring the energy down, who try to apologize this current system of that they say, okay, we can't change anything. It's not worth working for a bright future because we are anyway trapped in our world, and the reality is not a bright one. So let's better give up. This is frustrating, but because it's heavy. It's really heavy, as you say, and I really feel again every time we were in Palestine. I felt both. I feel the heaviness, but I feel also so much of going forward and of not giving up. Also in Israel, there are so many demonstrations going on, and even if you don't feel them at the moment, it seems they don't make a difference, but they do make a difference. So let's concentrate on the light, on the candles, and not on the darkness, I think.
I want to ask you, when you were in the Holy Land, in Palestine and Israel, which incident that you remember the most or has touched you the most?
So many. I think it was really the testimony of many people meeting them. Like, for example, meeting Manal Tamimi, the mother of the aunt of Jannah in Abi Saleh, who has been hosting foreign journalists all day in a lot of heat, and she is talking all the day, explaining about situation of occupation. This has touched me very much, and it has touched me also very much to meet Guy Hersfeld, an Israeli peace activist who is accompanying Israeli shepherds, Palestinian shepherds. And he was the one you can also see in the videos who is saying it's not, sometimes it's not even the military officers who tell the soldiers to shoot, but it's even the settlers, the Zionist settlers who tell the police, the military, please come and chase away the people who own this land. So this was also very touching. So people who work, people who change something, this has what has been so impressive and has changed my life. It makes me more courageous to stand up in my own country, in my own everyday life. Yeah.
Thank you for being who you are, Alice, and thank you for being part of Earth Caravan, and thank you for being our partner. And thank you for being, it's like the Franciscan benediction. Thank you also for being very foolish to think you're able to change the world.
Let's try it. Let Omar, let's make an experiment. Let's just, everyone who is now live on Facebook and live on I've never, it was just an idea, but let's try it because I really believe it's possible. Just look into your heart. Just really open your heart and imagine the just future. Imagine that the reality of that it's not even the conflict, the occupation, the justice for Palestine is already realized. And it has changed the Zionist influence, the worldwide stupid Zionist influence. And it has changed the reality in Israel so that they all can see that working together, that they don't need to be afraid. It has changed that all the Palestinians don't need to be afraid any longer because they are accepted and that there is justice and equality. So you can feel that in the present day it's not possible. It has not changed. This reality has not changed. But please go in the future. Just reach out to the future and then you can feel that it's a reality there.
Definitely. And I think it is, even if you are willing to dream and willing to think, you are already in the kingdom of justice.
Yes, and we can bring it into the present. We can bring the future into the present and realize it.
Thank you very much, Alice. We are exactly 1 hour. It has been a very emotional and powerful hour. Thank you for being our speaker today, and our regards and to all and our love to everyone. I see Magali here, hi, and I see many of our friends here. So thank you for being with us today, and please next week we're taking a day off, so there will be no Kumi. It's a vacation, but only for 1 week. Then we're gonna be back to our regular meetings. So take care, friends, and hope to see you again soon. Enjoy the summer and continue working for justice and peace and love. Take care.
Thank you, Sabil, so much for your work. Thank you for this platform.